Hi, this is Zak Mir with the US Chartbreakers for Wednesday, the 3rd of May here at Zak's Traders Cafe, starting off with the S&P 500, where we had that bull trap through 4160, which we were longingly looking for to be broken on an end-of-day close basis. We got that, and obviously then the market came back ahead of the Fed announcement. Bearish divergence there in the RSI window, so on the lookout and on guard for a test of the 50-day moving average at around 40.37. If we can get away with that and actually have a higher low versus the end of last month, then that could be a sign that we'll actually accelerate towards 42.60 in the top of that November rising trend channel. The advice to go short at 4,200 from a leading investment bank, notwithstanding. I have to say, over looking at the markets for 30 or 40 years, very rarely known such calls to be correct. So let's see if whoever it was can get it right this time. On to the stocks, and first one, something of a lap of honor in terms of the price action here. AGBA Group, we had a rebound off the, above the 50-day moving average within that broadening triangle that we've had since the turn of the year. The hope now is that above that rising 50-day line around $2, we could see the shares retest the peak that we had just a couple of days ago, as high as $5 plus over the next month or so. Looking at the RSI as well, we see that there's been a bounce just above the neutral 50 level, and that stands the shares in good stead for a retest of the $5 area while we're above the 50-day line. Moving on to the next situation, and here we've got Actelis Networks, and here you can see a solid green candle yesterday. Top of the triangle there heading towards $10, and the longer we stay above recent resistance around $5.90, March resistance, the greater the chance of $10 to be hit as soon as the end of this month. One of the rises of yesterday is Loop Inc., and here you can see that we had that spike towards the top of that broadening triangle around the $5 mark. Current situation is that we're looking for support to come in, hopefully around the 220 area, which was resistance on the way down for the shares above that initial target up to the 200-day line at $2.70, and then hopefully a partial or even full retest of the spike from yesterday. Another stock on the move is coming up, Intelligent Biosolutions. Here it's interesting that we've got the shares trying to bottom out after the large decline that we had back in February. We've broken a line of resistance there from back in January. That's versus around $2.90. Above that, looking for the top of the broadening triangle from May, as high as $4.50. From March, rather, as high as $4.50 by the end of this month, i.e. May. If you are cautious, maybe you wait for an end-of-day close through the 50-day moving average at $3.70 before assuming that $4.50 plus is on its way. Moving along to a stock which I covered yesterday, it's back again, Lichen China. You can see inside day breakout that we had for yesterday. Support likely to be in the 220, 230 area, and above that looking for the top of that, that resistance line projection, the broadening triangle top from March as high as $3.70 by the end of this month. One of the most frequent flyers here on the US Chartbreakers is the following stock, Marathon Digital, and here you can see that trading either side of the 200-day moving average, that's around $9.20. Above that, looking for a retest of last month's resistance through $12 and an old November resistance line projection. Could see that by the end of this month while we hold above the 50-day line around $8.30. A new name coming up next in the form of Minim, and here you can see that we have that massive spike. Top of the triangle there up to around $10.60. We actually overshot that as well. Current position is that we're looking for support to hold around the $4.25 area. That was resistance on the way down. Above that, looking for at least the 200-day line around $5.50, and then obviously a retest, perhaps a retest of the $10 area by the end of this month. An encouraging situation coming up next in the form of Minerva Neurosciences. Here you can see that we've broken through the 200-day moving average at around $4. Above that, we're looking for $8 at a resistance line projection from October. We could hopefully hit that as soon as the end of this month off the back of the unfilled gap to the upside that we've had to start this week. Another frequent flyer here in the US Chartbreakers is Riot Platforms, and here consolidating well at and above the $10 area, looking for a retest of $14 by the end of the month to fill that gap down that we had back in April. So relatively simple situation there. The reason for the relative enthusiasm is the double bounces off neutral 50 that we've had in recent weeks. That tends to be a decent continuation signal. Tscan Therapeutics is next, and here we've had a bear trap effect from below the old April support there around $1.90. Above that, looking for as high as $2.60 at the 200-day moving average. Recent resistance for the shares, hopefully over the next couple of weeks. One of the more famous stocks in today's selection is coming up next, and it comes in the form of AGBA, which I presume most people have heard of. Double gap to the upside this week. Looking for at least the top of that rising trend channel from the middle of last year, as high as $40 by the end of this month. The way things are going, by the end of this week. After that, up to as high as $44 at a September resistance line projection. And I suppose that would be by the end of this month. In terms of the stop loss, probably resistance on the way down around $33. The lowest we'd expect if the bull run here is set to continue. Finishing off today with VSE Corporation, and here we've had an island reversal, bear trap island reversal. So the gap down back in March and the gap yesterday. The view now is that above the 50-day line at $46, we're looking for a target as high as the low 60s, where that could be seen as soon as the end of this month. So basically, just to recap, above the mid to upper 40s and the 50-day moving average, looking for up to the low to mid 60s for VSE Corporation. Ideally, we hold above the $50 level, but that may be asking a bit too much, given that that was just the intraday support of yesterday. That's it from me today. More updates tomorrow.